Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Donaghmore, Ashbourne home ground here in Ashbourne for the second round of the Junior Premier Championship, Trim v Donaghmore Ashbourne, and we'll go through the teams in a minute. Donaghmore Ashbourne on the attack with number 11 there for them is Luke Wilson, but it's very well read there by Declan Dowling, who's playing a cornerback again, gives it off to David Murty, but it goes out over the sideline for sideline ball, first one of the game to Donaghmore Ashbourne. We'll go through both teams when we get a minute. So Donaghmore Ashbourne playing out from behind here, goes there towards David Carr, wing back, and he pulls Paul Munley's shirt, who gives a lovely ball in towards Mikey Cole. Mikey gathers, lovely play by Mikey, goes around his man, gives it off there to Mark Murray, back to Mikey Cole. Mikey has a shot at goal, but it's gone wide for Trim's first wide of the game, and we have about 2 minutes played. So Donaghmore Ashbourne will kick out with keeper Sean Hogan. Sorry, we're just trying to work up their team again. So one there at wing back for Trim by Kieran Caulfield, who's making his senior debut for Trim at adult level. Gives the ball in there towards Shawnee Foley, who doesn't win that occasion. It's won by Aaron McLaughlin, and it's feed it out the field there towards another wing back, and it's back towards centre back Shane Ray, who gives it off to lively centre forward Luke Wilson. Luke in his own half carries the ball on through. Mark Murray is chasing, who's playing centre half forward for Trim, gives a little ball in there towards full forward, but Brian Bulger cuts it out and gives it off to midfielder Patchy Quigley. Patchy gives it off there to Josh Harris, and Josh hits a lazy out ball in, but it goes towards Darrell Phelan, who's on the attack. Trim on the attack here, 14 metres out. Darrell's going to his weak side, his left, he'll cut back to his right, still going Darrell, dispossessed, gives it back out, and it's won there by number 10 Dara O'Sullivan for Donaghmore Ashbourne. So they're on the way out again, and it's still with Darren O'Sullivan. Goes out there. There's some we'll get his name in a minute. I think he's Sean Byrne, wearing number 30. Gives a neat little ball out there towards corner forward number 15, James Crumlish. We're still writing down the Donaghmore team as we speak. So Trim on the attack again here with Patchy Quigley. Patchy looks up, toe taps, has been tackled there by number 30 Sean Byrne for Donaghmore Ashbourne. Gives it back to Brian Bulger, who's back for Trim from injury tonight. Brian is fouled and gives a tasty little ball there to centre forward Mark Murray. Mark has Kieran Caulfield available to him. Kieran with the left foot gives a lovely ball there towards Shawnee Foley. Shawnee out in front again. Trim looking sharp here. If we can get a score. Shawnee held up back there towards Kieran Caulfield. Caulfield back to Munners. Paul Munley on the ball here, 50 yards from the Ashbourne goal, gives it to Mark Murray. He should give it back to Munners, which he does. Munners might have a shot from here. It's against a slight breeze. Munners 30 yards in goal onto his left foot. Off there, the weakish ball there towards Danny Coleman. Danny still fighting hard for it, and it's won there, and it's the first free of the game to Donaghmore Ashbourne. Referee Pat Clark gives the first free of the game to Donaghmore Ashbourne. Cian O'Rourke has the ball. Plays a nice ball out here towards, who have we, number 5, who's David Carr. He's going to be tackled by Paul Munley. Gives that ball on there to 15. 15 is James Crumlish. Crumlish on there towards number 10 is Dara O'Sullivan, who takes a left footed shot for a wide for Donaghmore Ashbourne, their first wide of the game. We're just still writing down the Donaghmore Ashbourne team, but we'll get to it in a minute. Sean Byrne, number 30, is playing midfield from what we can gather, so kick out from goalkeeper Peter Brennan down. Really good kick out, but it's won there at centre half back by Shane Ray for Donaghmore Ashbourne. Really well tackled back by Mark Murray, and it gets to Kev Lennon. Kev Lennon onto James Murray, onto Decky Dowling. Decky corner back, plays a lot down the field. Still Decky going, gives it off to Patchy Quigley playing centre field. Patchy gives it in there towards Shawnee Foley. Shawnee wins this one and cuts inside his man. Shawnee is 21 yards out. Danny Coleman's available. He gives it to him. Danny on the left side, back there to Mikey Cole. Mikey will have a shot with the left. And it's dropped into the keeper's hands. Keeper Sean Hogan for Donaghmore Ashbourne, out here now to David Carr, wing back for Donaghmore Ashbourne. Ashbourne on the attack. Nice tackle again by Munners, but who still held in possession there by number 5 David Carr. who finds out here is towards James Crumlish again, who's getting on a bit of ball. Crumlish is Decky Dowling's man. Decky just doesn't follow on there. Crumlish still goes through 21 yards out, gives it inside, little ball there to 13, but it's won there by Peter Brennan, and Peter gives it a nice ball out to Decky Dowling. Decky on the ball, gives it off to James Murray. Philo is with him if he wants him. James carries the ball quite a bit through halfway, gives it on there to Darrell Phelan, could give it back to James. Yes, he does. James now is 30 yards from goal. James turns to his better side to the right. He's somewhat foul but no free. Still James in possession. James gives a lovely ball there to Philo. Philo is 14 yards out into Sean Foley, should get it back, needs to go on his right foot. This is the first score of the game. Score, point for Trim. Darrell Phelan with the point from play, nearly could have went for a major. Sorry, Maudie, co-commentator tonight, Morris Power. Sorry, Morris, I wasn't in touch with you. Sorry.
No problem, CJ. It's been a hectic enough start to the game there. Good open game. That's surprising it's taken so long for the first score. But be interesting to see if they can keep going in this heat now. It's fair intensity to start with. Another ball into Josh Harris here.
Josh on the ball inside the 14 yard line, turns to the right foot, gives across the goal to Danny Coleman. Danny went with the hands. Donaghmore Ashbourne back in possession. Number 15 Jack Crumlish is a good bit from his goal, and it gives it off there to centre forward Luke Wilson. Luke takes it through the halfway line, comes towards his marker Darrell Phelan. The man free here on the right hand side is Luke Bennett, nobody picking him up. Luke Bennett through the middle and he's found 14 yards out onto his left, shoots. Wide ball for Luke Bennett for Donaghmore Ashbourne's second one and Luke's first. Luke ran the whole way up there. Nice run from the wing back, Maudie.
Yeah, I was looking up the match report from the first game, which was a high scoring draw. Wolf Tones, both wing backs for Ashbourne scored a couple of points that night, so it'll probably be a feature tonight that the two of them will get forward here this evening. But bad miss.
Peter Brennan kicks long again. It goes through the wing back and Danny Coleman's on it, but Shane Ray, who's had an impressive start of the game for Donaghmore Ashbourne, gives it off to midfielder Sean Byrne, who's wearing number 30 on his back. Gives it forward there towards Crumlish, who's been on the first few balls, marked by Decky Dowling. I'd say Decky's feeling the heat a bit tonight. Number 5 for Donaghmore Ashbourne, David Carr. He gives it off there in towards is it centre forward? Yes, it's centre forward. Luke Wilson. Luke still on the ball, gives it to the big man, back to Luke Wilson. Luke's inside the 14, tackled by Brian Bulger, over carried says Pat Clark, free out to Trim. Nice tackle there by Brian Bulger, and Peter Brennan will take the free out. So lively start by both teams, but still Trim 1 point, Donaghmore Ashbourne no score, and David Murty gets in the ball from a pass. David takes it down towards the 50 yard line, looks up, gives a grand ball down the wing there towards Josh Harris. Josh wins it lovely on the 21. Josh breaks through. Josh is through here, he's 14 yards out. Can he score? Josh saved, back of the net. Great score, Mikey Cole. Good score by Mikey to make that 1-1 to no score. Nice ball played out there towards Josh Harris, who took it through, and he should have finished, but Mikey followed up, Molly.
Yeah, great ball by David Murta, and Josh, who's looked lively there from corner forward, took it very well, took on his man, drove at him, and as you said, should have finished it himself, but Mikey did what all poachers do and finished up the rebound.
So nice start by Trim, 1-2 to no score ahead. Donaghmore Ashbourne on the attack again, gives it in there towards full back 14, and he's won it ahead of Brian Bulger. This is through to who have we now? We have Crumlish on the ball again. Number 15 out comes David Murchie, should come for this. 13 is out, gives it back to Crumlish. Crumlish is in with the left, great save by Peter Brennan. Kev Nally gathers and is fouled for a free out. So first real attack there, 13 for Ashbourne, had a chance of a goal, but it was very well saved by Peter Brennan. So Patchy Quigley's on the ball here for Trim in their own half, gives it off to Danny Coleman, who's made a nice lively start. This is on there towards Kieran Caulfield. He has great pace, Caulfield, predominantly left footed, gives a lovely punted ball in towards Mikey Cole. Cole out ahead of his marker again, has started the game very lively, 14 yards out, nicely tackled though by Aaron McLaughlin, and that comes back there too, but it's a wide ball by Sean Foley at corner forward. So Shawnee's first wide, Trim's second wide. Trim still 1-1 to no score ahead. Ashbourne with the ball out again, out here towards Sean Byrne at the middle of the field, and the centre half back Shane Ray, who likes to attack, is coming up with number 7 here, Luke Bennett, back there to Sean Byrne in the middle of the field again. Sean will find number 10 Dara O'Sullivan out here. Dara been marked now by Mark Murray, back there to centre back Shane Ray, going somewhat across the field at the minute. Now they're making a bit of potency down the middle, but it's back with Luke Wilson, who turns around again for Shane Ray, who looks very comfortable in the ball. There's a high ball into big man, full forward, back to Shane Ray, centre back, nicely tackled by Kieran Caulfield, back to the full forward Rory McCarran, I think his name is, but we'll find out in a second. Full forward is Rory McCann, actually. So Trim fouled again and gives it out here to Darrell Phelan. Darrell takes it on and gives it to James Murray. James, grand crossfield ball there towards Munners. Will he win it? Allows it go there to Mikey Cole, who's made a really lively start. Gives it out there a little bit far out the wing to Josh Harris. Josh is 21 yards out, gives it back to Munners. Has Mikey Cole available if he wants him. Finds Josh again. Josh is through again. Oh, good save by the keeper. Josh had another chance, he was pulled back, and play continues on. Trim should be another goal up. Josh was clean through again, so Donaghmore Ashbourne back out again towards Sean Byrne, the middle of the field. Here comes Aaron McLaughlin, corner back, coming up the field. He's tackled there by Mark Murray. Number 11 here, Luke Wilson's on the ball, gives it back again. Centre back Shane Ray is available in the middle, and he gets it. Shane Ray, who's playing well for Donaghmore Ashbourne. Sean Foley's closest marker, still around the middle of the field, off there to number 12 Kevin Keelan, and it goes on through. Kevin is still on the ball. Kevin Alley tackling him. Kevin is still on the ball, takes a right footed shot. That could be Donaghmore Ashbourne's first of the game. Yes, it is. It's Kevin Fenton, actually. I can't read my own handwriting. Kevin Fenton, who scores the first point of the game for Donaghmore Ashbourne to make the score 1-1 to a point with about 10 minutes gone. Even enough, Marty. We should have been in for 2 goals.
Yeah, we definitely should have been. I suppose Peter Brennan has made a good save there as well, but that's a good score by Kevin Fenton there. But already I can hear lads panting from here, and we're nearly panting ourselves here. CJ, it's warm.
It's a warm evening, and most of these lads had a tough game on Wednesday evening. Well, tough for about 40 minutes. So Trim on the attack again towards Shawnee Foley, who should be very fresh. Shawnee toe taps on the right, tries a dummy, goes by his man. Is he fouled? He kind of was. Shawnee's still in the ball, he's fouled. And we need a left footer from this side. Maybe Kieran Caulfield will have a crack. Quick ball in there towards Josh Harris. Josh has it again, gives it back there to Mikey Cole. Mikey fumbles, still in the ball, soccer style. Doesn't get through. Is he fouled? No. Aaron McLaughlin, number 2 for Donaghmore Ashbourne, comes out with the ball. Trimmer looking for goals a bit early. We should be taking points. 7 moves on the ball here towards number 10, Dara O'Sullivan. Dara O'Sullivan, centre back, on again is Luke Wilson. Luke continues on. Luke back to Darren O'Sullivan, or wing back. Oh, nice score there from number 5, David Carr, who attacked. And it is now Trim 1, Donaghmore Ashbourne 2 points. Number 5, David Carr seems to have moved out to the middle of the field. He's marking James Murray. And Peter Brennan goes long again towards James. James should field this one. Yes, he does. Drops it, but fields it well. On to James again. James looking down the wing there towards Josh Harris. Josh, ball cut out almost there by Jack Giles. Josh has it again. Trimmer very potent on the attack in towards Shawnee Foley. He's marked by Aaron O'Sullivan. Shawnee Foley chips up, coming across it. He should give it out. Shawnee turns on his right and scores. Trimmer like a goal fest. I want to put this match away pretty early, Morris.
Yeah, there is joy to be had there with Mikey and Josh and Sean in the full forward line. They all seem to have the beating at the man, and you can see already Kieran Caulfield has played a few balls with the foot, and so is James Murray. Is that Fergal Lynch harking back to an old school style of football with the kick pass?
Yeah. I see Director of Junior Football Loman Dempsey is watching from beyond from somewhere around the world. Brilliant catch by Kieran Caulfield at wing back. Great to see Kieran in the red shirt again. Kieran gives a lovely ball there towards Josh Harris, but it's nicely there cut out by Keane O'Rourke. And impressive centre back Shane Ray has the ball, gives it back out, but it's taken there by Kev Nally. Trim's body language a good bit better than Donaghmore Ashbourne's. Here's Mark Murray on the ball, back there towards Patchy Quigley, who should recycle out over there towards Kieran again. Kieran cuts inside, is tagged and pulled, and it's a free. He should punt this ball quickly. Kieran's still in the ball. Mark Murray is free. Paul Munners is free. Kieran gives it down the wing again there towards Josh Harris, who's way ahead of number 4 Keane O'Rourke every time. The Trim forward line have full forward line, but that's a bad ball by Josh, cut out by centre back Shane Ray. Shane on the attack again, is lovely tackle by Josh. Does he foul him? Just about foul him. Was a good enough tackle, but number 5 here, David Carr, comes out for Donaghmore Ashbourne, passes it on to the big man there middle of the field, and he looks in for James Crumlish, who has it. Crumlish tackles on, over carried again. This is Pat Clark. Trim were lucky enough there, I think. Jesus, the man was clean through. I don't know, I'm not sure about that one, Morris.
No, he's actually after giving 2 over carrying calls to Trim that I was wincing a bit when he blew the whistle. But yeah, we're cut open there. Crumlish looks one of the main lads for Ashbourne there. He looks very sharp and getting on the ball a lot.
I think Danny Coleman has come back there to mark Crumlish. So the ball goes in there to this big full forward. Is well gathered there by Brian Bulger. Brian gives it to Patchy Quigley. Patchy Quigley, loose ball, but it finds Darrell Phelan. Darrell on the ball. Lovely kick by Darrell straight down the middle of Mark Murray, who should just pop it on to one of the full forwards, who are very lively. He takes on his man. Don't lose it, Mark. Mark gives it just back to Decky Dowling. Decky on the ball. Decky takes it on through the tackle. Gives a lovely ball across towards David Murta. Can he make it? He does make it. He needs to bring it back outside there towards Mikey Cole, and it's a wide ball for Trim, for Trim's 3rd of the game, and so the score remains 2-1 for Trim, 2 points for Donaghmore Ashbourne, and that is the first water break of the game after 16 minutes. So Morris, a very hot evening for a game, isn't it?
Absolutely, CJ, and the way this game has started now, the final score here could be anything. I think we've had 8 to 10 goal chances already on both teams. Ashbourne have a good save of Peter Brennan. They were pulled up for over carrying there for 1. We have 2 already, and good save from Josh. Darrell had a goal chance, he took the point instead. So yeah, it could be a goal fest here tonight. I think Ashbourne's first game they drew at Wolftones. I was saying it was 5-10 to 3-16, so they're playing an open style of football. But this would be a good test for Trim, as I was saying to you off camera when I arrived just before throw-in, that Ashbourne are defending champions in this, and well, before the regrading of the second teams, this team is essentially an intermediate team that Trim are playing here tonight, so it should be a really good test for our lads.
Okay, so you probably, Morris, I think you can see some laboured limbs, especially on a hot evening, and especially after playing a long hard match on Wednesday night. I think Decky Dowling is struggling a little bit with a little injury, but we have lads back that like Brian Bulger's back at full back. Shawnee Foley hasn't played that much. Kieran Caulfield is fresh from his inter-county and he came on against Dublin last night. But the full forward line, I think, have the beating of their men if we can pop it in there quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We've mentioned that already. That the ball into Mikey, to Sean, and to Josh. They seem to be out in front of their men, winning it. By the same token, we look a bit open through the middle, and Ashbourne have worked the ball through, but has yet to bear fruit. Yeah, as you're saying, Kieran Caulfield, obviously everyone has high hopes from. I had managed him myself, a minor for a couple of years. Extremely talented young man, great attitude, works hard. And I suppose great achievement to play under 20 while he was still minor. I know there was a couple of them involved last night, and by all accounts made a bit of an impact when he came on last night. So his first adult appearance for Trim is tonight. Hopefully it all goes well for him.
Yeah, please God, the start of a long club career. So Trim, we didn't give you the line out. There are actually a few positional changes since the match started. I see now that Brian Bulger is full back, as he has been. Danny Coleman has come back at corner back. Decky Dowling has gone up to a less arduous position of a wing forward. Kieran Caulfield is wing right half back. Darrell Phelan is centre half back, and Kev Nally is left half back. David Murta lines out 2 right half back. Match restarts with a kick out for Donaghmore Ashbourne. and we'll retime this 15 minutes. So Ashbourne on there to Darragh O'Sullivan, number 10 for Ashbourne, gives it on down the wing there towards the impressive James Crumlish ahead of Danny Coleman, gives it back there, and the ball is kicked in, but it's very well cut out there by Sean Foley, who's somewhat back in his half back line. Here's Darrell Phelan coming with the ball. Darrell runs into a bit of trouble, should flick it off there. Phelan still on the ball, plenty of options, gives it there down the middle towards Munners, Paul Munley. Paul recycles back to James. Mikey Cole is way free and he's well ahead of his man, 40 yards from goals. Mikey looks back again towards Mark Murray, who started off centre forward. Here's Mikey Cole back now to Danny Coleman, to Patchy Quigley. Patchy gives a high ball towards James Murray, who's cut inside the centre half back. He's a lot taller than Shane Ray, so James is on the 14-yard line, recycles it back out towards Mark Murray. Mark Murray has Mikey Cole gives it towards Munners. Paul Munley bursts through 25 yards out, is fouled, and this is a scoreable free for Trim, the first of the game. It's about 30 yards from the Donaghmore Ashbourne goal, and I think James Murray is stepping up to take the free, and he'll take it out of his hands. 30 yards out for Trim's first scoreable free of the game, and there's 1 minute played of the second quarter. James with the kick over the bar for Trim, so James's first point from a free, and Trim lead now by 2 points, 6 points ahead, with 16 and a half minutes gone, and Sean Hogan kicks the ball out for Donaghmore Ashbourne towards midfielder wearing 30, Sean Byrne, who's fouled by Patchy Quigley. Sean Byrne gives a little ball there towards James Crumlish, who looks dangerous when he's on it. Munners grabs again. Patchy Quigley steps in. Patchy goes round his man, doing nicely, Patchy. But it gives a poor ball, as I say, towards Shane Ray, who finds number 13, who's all alone, Danny Deary. Danny, right-footed, long hair, back in there towards 12, who is Kevin Fenlon again. Kevin with the left foot, looking for a second of the game, scores it well. Kevin's second score, to leave it Trim 2-2, Donaghmore Ashbourne 3 points, and a little bit loose at the back there, Maud. I suppose it is a hot evening. Yeah, no, I think if Kevin had missed that, he would have been open to criticism for his teammates. He was under a bit of pressure, but I suppose it came from a loose foot pass from Patchy Quigley, turned over and they broke. Again, I think given the previous 15 minutes, if you just let it into the three boys inside and let them fight for it, we might get some joy there. So a loose ball out by Kevin Alley, but it finds Kieran Caulfield. Kieran, great pace about him, switches onto his favourite left foot, looks up, gives a simple ball there. Mikey Cole's way out in front of his man every time. Mikey, little punted ball in there towards Shawnee Foley. Shawnee might have a crack here. Shawnee's 21 yards out, that looks like. It's over the bar. Great score by Trim. For Shawnee Foley's second score of the game, and nice work there, nice play by Kieran Caulfield. Mikey Cole's out in front of his man every time. Yeah, Mikey's looking very sharp, well played by Kieran as well, picked up the loose ball, but as I said, there is a lot of hay to be made by the boys in full forward line there. It's good mark by Munners. Munners gives it in to Shawnee Foley, way ahead of his man again, touches it soccer style, but is won there back by a corner back, who gives it out there to Aaron McLaughlin. McLaughlin on there to number 5, who's playing midfield, who is David Carr, who gives it off there, and here comes Sean Byrne in the middle of the field wearing 30. Back there it's towards Shane Ray again, who's on the move again towards centre forward there, Luke Wilson, or to wing forward Darragh O'Sullivan, who has a shot from about 40 yards way out. Darragh's first or second wide of the game, and Donaghmore Ashbourne's third, 3 wides each. Peter Brennan with the kick out. Peter has a very good long kick, hasn't he, Maudie? It goes, and it's like we're playing against a small breeze, but he's launching at 60-70 yards. Yeah, very good. It's something he's worked hard on for the last couple of years. That's definitely one of his strongest assets is a kick out now. Man down here is Paul Munley. Looks like his knee. It was a little surprising that, such an open game. We have only had 8 scores today, 2-3 to 3 points. Munners looks in a bit of pain here. Of course, we'll best wishes to James Cullen, who underwent a serious operation there. Was it yesterday morning or this morning? Hope to see James back in action as quickly as possible. Yeah. I'll second that. I hope to see James back as quick as possible. He was very unfortunate on Wednesday night, as was Mikey, who did his hamstring. So Paul Muller looks like he's coming off the Trim team. Trim are mounting up injuries. Ground is getting hard. Lots of games. And Dimmy Higgins, who's no bad replacement, be able to come on. Looks like he'll come as a straight swap there for Munners, maybe a wing forward. Munners looks like it's his hamstring or his knee. So Dimmy Higgins is going in centre half forward, and Mark Murray is coming out a wing forward for Trim. So kick out will come. Munners going off the field after there is 5 minutes played of the second quarter. So Peter with a sluggish one there, goes nicely though. Mr. Reliability Kevin Nally, who's fouled. Kevin does very little wrong, Morris.
Yeah, very steady indeed. Yeah, 7 out of 10 every week.
8 or 9 some weeks, yeah. Patchy on the ball, punts a nice ball towards Decky Dowling, who's a half forward for the first time in years, and it moves on there to Steady Eddie again. Kevin back onto Patchy Quigley, soccer style along the ground towards Dimmy Higgins. Dimmy is very good on the ball. Dimmy toe taps back there towards Kev Nally again. Kev Nally towards Patrick Quigley. Patrick Quigley there gives it to Dimmy, who's on the ball again. Patchy Quigley onto Darrell Phelan. Great run down the middle. Fielder takes it through the tackle, but Pat Clark, very consistent, says that he overcarried. He did the same for Donaghmore Ashbourne twice, so he was quite entitled to give that ball there to Darrell Phelan, free against Darrell Phelan. So Donaghmore Ashbourne with the ball out again, number 5 on the ball again, who is David Carr, and gives it in there, but it's over Brian Bulger's head, and it's in there towards Danny Deary. Danny Deary back to centre forward. There was a snapshot at it, but it's well taken by Peter Brennan. That was a snapshot from Luke Wilson at centre forward. Gives it off there towards Kieran Caulfield. Caulfield out towards Decky Dowling. Decky Dowling toe taps, still toe taps back there to Patchy Quigley. Lots of play around the middle of the field tonight. James Murray off to Darrell Phelan again. Philo drops the ball but repossesses it. Tackled by full forward. Darrell is tackled, gets his free, and plays the ball out there towards Decky, who's an acre of space in front of him. The full forward should pop out again. Out it comes here to Shawnee, who's the beating of Aaron O'Sullivan or Aaron McLaughlin every time. Sean Foley still on the ball, recycles back to James Murray, still around the middle of the field. Murray carries it through, well through, tackled there by number 9 Kevin Cullen. Back towards Mark Murray. Mark on towards Mikey Cole. Mikey goes at his marker again. Ball 21 yards out. Mikey Cole gives a nice ball towards Dimmy Higgins. Dimmy might find James Murray, which he does. James toe taps through the tackle. Can he score? Could be the score of the night. Great score by James. James is second. His first from play. Well worked. That was the best score of the night, Morris.
Yeah, beautiful skill by James there. I think the centre back might have to buy a ticket to come back in, but you can definitely notice since the water break the level of intensity from both teams has dropped off here. It's got a lot looser.
Yeah, the body language is kind of a hot evening body language. In there towards James Crumnish, who looks impressive. It gives it in there towards corner forward. We just can't see who it is at the minute. Oh, a really well taken goal there. Smashing goal by Donaghmore Ashbourne. Wing back, I think number 7, Luke Bennett scored that one, to leave not much between the teams. Trim 2-4, Donaghmore Ashbourne 1-3. Very well taken goal there by the wing back 7. The two wing backs are quite impressive. The half back line for Donaghmore Ashbourne is actually impressive. Peter Brennan looks for the kick out, gives a long ball again towards Dimmy Higgins, but it's really well won there by Dara O'Sullivan. Dara in there towards Sean Burke again. Burke on to full forward, who's out in the head of Brian Bulger. This is James Crumnish, who gives it in towards Danny Deary, but it's won there by David Murta. David somewhat fouled, advantage given. David carries it on through 50 yards, looks up again, and he's looking for a man, and he finds Mikey Cole, 21 yards out. Oh, Mikey gives a poor ball in, and Aaron McLaughlin comes out with the ball, chased by Shawnee Foley. Aaron McLaughlin still going. Long run there. goes out round the middle of the field here where number 11 Luke Wilson has it. Lads are getting plenty of space because boys are not able to keep with their man. That's too long a ball in there towards the square, and it's won nicely by Peter Brennan. Peter has Kevin Nally free on his left hand side, and he finds him. So Kev should kind of bring it out the field. There's nobody near him. He finds James Murray, who comes to pick it up off him. Finds Brian Bulger. Brian takes it through. Number 9 is somewhat foul. Oh, does he over carry? Brian's still on the ball. Brian is fouled this time, so having lost it, he regained confidence and gathered the ball, and Dimmy Higgins is on the ball. Dimmy gives it in there towards Shawnee Foley, who's well ahead of his man every time. Gives it back to Dimmy. Dimmy takes on number 2 Aaron McLaughlin. Gives it in towards Josh Harris. Josh tried to go by his man. There's a lot of ground football going on in there. Josh is somewhat, and he has a drop shot. Don't get away with that one at this kind of level. Unfortunately, you should gather the ball and make sure of it. So the ball coming out again, all a bit loose. Dara O'Sullivan on the ball for Donaghmore Ashbourne. Dara finds, or we looked at centre forward but didn't give it to him. Dara's still going. Now he'll give it to centre forward, or is it full forward? It's full forward, Rory McCann. McCann's a big unit. Gives it in there towards Danny Deary. Danny ahead of David Murta. Danny inside there towards 12 Kevin Fenlon. Kevin looking for number 3 and finds it, number 3 of the night. 3 points for Kevin Fenlon. So you can pick out the centre back, wing back. Fenlon 12 looks to be the scorer in chief.
Absolutely, yeah. He's shoot on sight. He's 3 points so far. He looks very good because he's not touching the ball a whole lot in open play. He's staying close to goals. Again, as you mentioned there, a bit unconventional from Josh Harris there, and Josh has gone out of the game a little bit. I think we need to go back to what we were doing in the first quarter and get the ball in early to Josh, Mikey and Shawnee. Again, a lot of lads are very tired out there. This man seems to have cramp, and there's 28 minutes gone. I might be a bit harsh, but I don't think he should be getting cramp after 28 minutes.
A little bit harsh, Morris. If I said that, you'd have me out the door.
Let's see Loman Dempsey watching there somewhere in the west. His second game of the championship to miss, and there's only been 2. He's one of the best remote managers in the world.
Working from home.
So he's taking working from home beyond the limits, isn't he, Morris? Anyway, so kick out for Trim, Peter Brennan. Brian Dowling was warming up for Trim. I don't know if he came on, but it's well won there by Decky Dowling, who's struggling a little bit with his leg. James Murray, who's very consistent for Trim in the middle of the field, scored 2 good points. Here comes James, gives a flat ball towards Decky Murray. Hits number 5 in the back, and then we're fortuitous to get that ball. Here's Decky back towards Mikey Cole, who's very busy when he's on it. James Murray towards, who have we in there? Josh Harris. Josh, somewhat easy, or goes round. Will he go for a score? Will he go for a point this time? It's cross. Can we score? We can. Shawnee Foley. Square ball. Ref gives. He was standing in the square, no question. Free out. Josh nearly should put it over the bar there. Just keep the scoreboard ticking on a hot evening like this. So it's 2-4 to 1-4 to 1, much between these sides, I'd say. Out there to impressive wing back Luke Bennett, who scored a goal already. Luke takes it on by Decky Dowling. Gives it on there to the other chief scorer, who's Kevin Fenlon. Kevin fouled by. He keep going. Another injury for Trim. I'm not sure who that one is. Let's have a look at that. It is Darryl Phelan. Darryl, who's also playing a lot of ball lately, he's just gone down. Any sort of a knocking and even like that, you'd be inclined to stay down for a little while, Morris.
Yeah, hard ground as well. The ankles and knees and all the joints, you pick up your injuries. But as you were saying, like it's a very heavy workload on a lot of these Trim lads at the minute. I don't think too many of these Ashbourne lads were playing Fesh Cup the other night, so that might tell in the second half. But yeah, we as you said, we kind of need a score. I think James Murray was the last score there, whenever that was, 5 or 6 minutes ago, and would have been better off. Josh had to put that over. Again, I think Sean maybe could have been a little bit more aware of where the square was as well. But looks like Darrell's under pressure here, and I think Ashbourne taking a bit of water on board, which is common sense, even with COVID regulations. Yeah, Darrell looks under pressure there. I don't think he's going to be able to continue.
So Trim's second injury of the night, Darrell Phelan. I'd say it won't be the last. Darrell has gone off. Play resumes without the sub coming on. And we're going to be bringing on with Brian Dowling and the Gooch a la Conor McKeown. In goes Danny Deary. Danny has a shot at goals and it's gone wide for Danny's first wide of the game, and Donaghmore Ashbourne's fourth. So Trim are a bit all over the shop now at the minute. I think we're moving Kieran Caulfield to centre back where Darrell Phelan was. Conor McKeown is definitely coming on, and so is Brian Dowling for Decky Dowling. So one Dowling replaces another one, and I'll give you the switches now. Mark Murray is going wing back where Kieran Caulfield was. Kieran Caulfield centre back. Gooch has gone in wing forward, and Brian Dowling has gone in corner forward, and Josh Harris is going to be a half forward. So lots of changes on this Trim team. Big kick out from James or Peter towards James. Brilliant catch by James. Brian Dowling is free in the middle for his first touch. Brian will know what to do here. Brian carries it 21 yards out, looking around him again for Dimmy Higgins. Dimmy breaks through the tackle, looks up, gives a little ball across towards Shawnee Foley, but that's a good contest here between Aaron McLaughlin and Shawnee Foley, and Aaron McLaughlin kicks it out for a sideline for Trim. Foley is on the ball, pops the ball in there towards Dimmy in the centre. Dimmy gives it across the square where we're running in. This time Bino's on the first touch, first point. So first score for Brian Dowling after being on the field just about 30 seconds, and it's on his second possession he gets a point. If he was a bit more predator like, he could have taken a goal, but we did say we should keep the scoreboard ticking, Morris.
We did indeed, yeah, and Bino has played a lot of games recently, but I'd say when he saw the space the lads were getting in the first quarter, he was probably licking his lips wanting to come on. A good score. So
a bad kick out goes direct. Shawnee needs to take it in his hand. Shawnee is 30 yards out, but he can score. And he does score a great score. We can't be critical of a man that's scoring 3 points, but he should have really taken that one in his hand.
Yeah, again, I had Sean for 2 years there as a minor. He's unconventional, could frustrate the life out of you at times, but he does know where the goals are, and he will score if he gets a chance. Absolutely. Just half time there, CJ.
Okay, we'll just have a quick word before half time. The score at half time is Trim 2-6, Donaghmore Ashbourne 1-4. I'd say the overall impression, even looking at the Trim lads walking off the field, is it's such a hot evening that unfortunately we have 2 injuries already, and fitness will play a part in this game. We'll go have a quick word with John Andrews.
Yeah, we'll just go into a half time break. This is a Red TV production for Trim GAA.